And from there, let's check out some of the top trending stories we tracked at the courts.
We begin with the report that a Federal Capital Territory High Court on Wednesday, May the 30th, sentenced the former governor of Taraba State, Mr. Jolin Yame, to 14 years in prison without an option of fine. The court convicted Mr. Yame of criminal breach of trust in a case of 1.64 billion naira fraud preferred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Mr. Yame, who was Taraba State governor between 1999 and 2007, was accused of criminally misappropriating the funds while he governed the state. In a judgment which lasted more than 4 hours on Wednesday, Justice Adebukola Banjoko found the former governor guilty of 27 out of the 41 counts he was charged with. The judge blamed him for financial recklessness and brazen display of executive power without following due process. And in Kaduna State, a federal high court on the same Wednesday remanded a former governor of the state in prison. Former Governor Ramalan Yero and 3 others were remanded in prison after they were docked by the anti-graft agency, the EFCC. The 3 others are a former minister, Nuhu Waya, a former secretary to the state government, Hamza Danmawuye, and a former People's Democratic Party chairman in the state, Abubakar Haruna. They all pleaded not guilty to a 4-count charge of corruption leveled against them by the EFCC. The 4 were accused of laundering over 700 million naira allegedly received in the build-up to the 2015 elections. After the arraignment, the chief judge of the court, Mohammed Shaibu, ordered that the 4 defendants should be remanded till June the 6th, when their bail applications will be heard. On Thursday, May the 31st, an Abuja FCT High Court fixed July the 11th for ruling on the no-case submission filed by Olisa Metu, a former PDP spokesman. He was arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in January 2015 on a 2-count charge bordering on alleged destruction of evidence. The case, which was before Justice Ishaq Bello, was adjourned till July the 11th with the consent of the parties in the case, as the court did not sit. In the no-case submission, Metu's counsel, Dr. Onyechi Kwazu, had argued that the prosecution had not established any case to warrant the defendant to be called to enter his defense. He reminded the court that the charge of the EFCC was that Mr. Metu destroyed his statement and obstructed EFCC officials by willfully tearing his statement. Ikwazu argued that a piece of paper not signed did not qualify as a statement by the defendant and urged the court to discharge and acquit the defendant. The prosecuting counsel, Mr. Silvanus Tahir, however, contended that cancellation was different from tearing, which was obstruction, and urged the courts to call upon the defendant to enter his defense. And in Lagos, a federal high court has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to order the prosecution of lawmakers found culpable in the padding of the 2016 budget and alleged stealing of about 481 billion naira. The judgment was delivered by Justice Mohammed Idris following a suit filed by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP. The judge ordered that President Buhari should urgently instruct security and anti-corruption agencies to forward to him reports of their investigations into allegations of padding of some 481 billion naira from the 2016 budget by some principal officers of the National Assembly. The court also ordered the President to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami and/or appropriate anti-corruption agencies to, without delay, commence prosecution of indicted lawmakers and direct the publication of the report of investigations by security and anti-corruption bodies into the alleged padding of the 2016 budget. Justice Idris further held that President Buhari should urgently halt alleged attempts by some principal officers of the National Assembly to steal 40 billion naira of the 100 billion naira allocated by his government as zonal intervention in the 2017 budget. And we round off with the report that hundreds of bank workers affected by the capitalization exercise of 2006 have filed a fresh suit at the National Industrial Court sitting in Lagos. Some of the ex-bank workers who showed up in court 12 years after they lost their jobs expressed optimism that they will get justice in court, despite the length of time it's taken to get paid the terminal benefits they believe they're entitled to. Their lawyer, Daniel Omotilewa, told Channels Television that the ex-bankers have withdrawn the old suit which they filed as a union and decided to file a fresh one for their benefit as individual claimants. The defendants in the fresh suit are the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. The trial judge, Justice Mustafa Tijani, has, however, adjourned till July the 9th for a report of service following the absence of the defendants in court.
And it's on that note we wrap up today's episode of the program. Please feel free to send in your comments on any of the issues we featured today. Do also remember that you can watch this episode and past episodes of the program on our YouTube channel. I'm Shola Sheyeli. Many thanks for watching.